our next topic, which is, will we get new Evercade hardware in 2023? So, in stark contrast to the last time, we'll end on the bang. So we'll come to Derek last on this one, because I think he's possibly got a good suggestion there. So let's go to Ryan first. Ryan,
don't put me on the spot here. Clearly, there isn't going to be another. Well, I'd be amazed if they announced another handheld or home console this year. Because let's be honest, the tech in the VS and the EXP is pretty spot on now. It's got Wi-Fi compatibility. It's got memory on there. You can download updates. You can download games to it. So in terms of where they are with both of those, I think they're in a pretty good place. But I could possibly see maybe a arcade stick or something like that for the VS, possibly an Evercade official joystick or arcade stick. Sorry. So yeah, I could see something like that coming out this year as hardware. I did think maybe like an Evercade mouse for the Amiga games, but I think the games they're picking doesn't necessarily need a mouse. So I don't think that would really. There's no market. There's no need for it. So yeah, just maybe an arcade stick. Yeah, that's all I could think of that possibly they could bring, or maybe even wireless controllers for the VS. That could be another thing.
Excellent. That sounds like a good suggestion. Mr. Blunners, any suggestions for possible hardware in 23?
To be honest, I don't think like Andy's putting here. I don't think they're going to do anything major. I think like the focus is games and just ironing out that EXP firmware. But I do like the arcade stick idea, and also wireless controllers. Like them controllers on the VS are really good. I think if they're wireless, everything's wireless nowadays. But yeah, I can't really see anything. I know we spoke off air about something else, but yeah, no, I can't really see anything personally.
Okay, so that's going to lead us nice and neatly on to Top Hat, who I think has got a very cool suggestion. That's for sure.
Well, the first thing I want to say is there won't be any actual hardware, in other words, in terms of a console stroke handheld, for at least the next 12 to 14 months. Okay, so that's confirmed. That's ruled out. Now, Ryan's idea of the arcade stick, I can confirm that Blaze are looking into one.
Ooh.
So
you're on exclusive. Yeah. You're hearing it here first.
Yeah. I mean, it's not to say we might not see a different color of handheld or console in the next 12 to 14 months, a lot like they did the purple one. But you won't see an updated version. So all to play for yet. Otherwise, I think a silicone grip would be a brilliant idea for the EXP or the original handheld. A lot of people, especially in the comments, probably already have them for Nintendo Switch, or they might have had one for the Wii U. I think they were also available for the Game Boy Advance. They're brilliant for holding, but also I think a lot of people in the Tate mode would find it a lot easier to be able to grip the console and not have to worry about it slipping out of your hands. So they could do them in multiple colors. I don't see what that would be, or even theme them. If they could do a license with things like Dig Dug or Cathedral, you could even get themed ones with different backs or fronts on, and being silicone, very very easy, and it doesn't become slippy in your palm. So I don't see why that shouldn't be something they could do. And as I say, if they license them along with Doodle World or any of the games on Evercade, then you could pick up the one for your favorite game. And that'd be a massive bonus.
Look at that. We are just printing money for them, aren't we, with these ideas? I mean, it's you could take that to the bank. That is an incredible suggestion, though. I mean, you get
the Evercade brainstorming podcast. That's right.
But that would look so cool, wouldn't it? Like
Get a
having like a
flickable
flea grip for your Evercade. That'd
Yeah,
be
amazing,
phenomenal.
wouldn't it?
That'd be
Yeah,
such
that'd be
a
cool.
cool idea. Oh, I really like that idea. Someone either Blaze have got to do it, or someone's got to figure out a way of like molding silicon properly and figuring this out, making that work. That's for sure. Oh, I like that idea a lot. That's really slick.
Do you think, to top out sorry, Ollie, before you answer, do you think a light gun's possible for the VS? Because I know a lot of people have mentioned about light gun games. Is that something that Blaze have looked into, do you know, or something that possibly they could bring to the VS?
What I will tell you is this: Blaze Entertainment are massive fans, especially the particular one I'm thinking of light gun games. They really love them. So I don't see it as an impossibility. If you think about things like the Wiimote, which work with the telly and things like that, I think it probably is a possibility. The only trouble is it would exclude handheld owners a bit, who would be forced to use the joypad. But again, I don't know. It depends how the light gun worked. Perhaps if you could link it somehow, then you could perhaps even rig your handheld up to the telly and use it through the other port. But I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out yet.
Interesting. Because that would be cool. That really would be cool. Being able to have just some of those silly games from back in the day, even some of the really old things. Like, what were some of the ones that were on the some of those early NES ones?
I had Wild Gunman on the NES.
That's it.
Does anyone remember that, when it was like fire and you had to like quick fire draw your gun to shoot the cowboy?
Yeah, Wild Gunman.
Yeah, the Master System had things like Rescue Mission, if you remember, which were great little ones, and also, of course, some big tighter ones like Operation Wolf. Operation Wolf would be massive. Or Cabal, of course, that was another great one. We already have one light gun game on the Evercade, of course, which is the hidden game, Bang. So, if you haven't tried that one out, it's a lot easier with a gun, but it can be played with your joypad, just as much fun.
Yeah. Do you know, the only thing I can think of that would be kind of cool, and I don't know how you could make it. So I'm looking at my VS, making loads of background noise while I'm doing it. Looking at my VS controller, and it kind of the D-pad is really nice and it feels really good. But there's a little part of me for some of those arcade games, like Wizard of Fire and that kind of thing. What I really would like is something to go over the top of the D-pad and act as like a little analog, so my thumb doesn't constantly push on the direction, because it moves very much like an analog does. So instead of it being like really hard up, down, left, right, it's got like a really nice sort of ball, almost like a ball rotation. So I don't know if there's a way they could make like a little clip or something that would go over the top of that and act as like an analog stick, just to make it less sort of painful on your thumb. Like, do you remember when you were a kid and all we had was the D-pad, and you used to push that D-pad so hard, and then you ended up getting like blisters and you like hurt your thumb a little bit? I tend to find that when I start getting stressed with the game or something's quite intense, I tend to push it a bit harder. Whereas if I've got an analog, I'll just push it a bit harder rather than like that. So I guess my suggestion for possible hardware would be a little like analog clip that you can clip over the D-pad and sort of use that to sort of move things around. I don't think anyone's ever made something like that before.
Actually, the Sega Master System, the early Sega Master System joypads had a little stick that you could screw into the middle of the joypad, and then you could use it like an arcade stick. So
Oh,
wow, I did not know that.
Up. Yeah, have to look that up.
Master System arcade stick. I am going to open up another window and see if we can find that, because that absolutely has blown my mind.
You screwed it into the original pads. They came with a little hole in the middle, and you could screw the stick in. I haven't seen one in donkey's years, but
What was the one they had on that DS? Was it a DS like an analog? Like the whole system went into this like little block thing with a little analog that came on the side.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, and also the Game Boy had the Super Game Boy that you could slot in, and then you could use like a little type of analog stick for the Game Boy. with speakers and stuff
Yes,
attached to
yeah,
it.
yeah, folded out.
Do you
Yeah.
know what? I think I might have found it. Just going to load this up really, really quickly. We're going to go on a tangent because this seems like a tangent worth going on. Where's it gone? Where's the picture gone?
See, I think
no.
recall this.
Right, here we go. Let me share my screen and see if this is it. Share screen. Narrate as I go.
There's some old magazines in the UK. Gave some away.
Is that
Yep.
it?
Yep, that's it. Yep, with the little stick in the middle. Yep, and used to
Look
be
at
able to unscrew. Yeah, and used to be able to unscrew that, or you could screw it in if you wanted to. If you're
Wow.
playing an arcade title. So I think it's something Blaze could easily do. They could bring out a pad with the hole in, or even sell them like that with it fixed for those that want the arcade experience. Yeah.
How mad! I never even knew that
amazing.
existed.
No, I never
Didn't
knew
know
that.
existed.
Every day's a school day.
It is. Look at that. So you come here for your Evercade news, and you walk away thinking, "Good grief! I didn't know the Master System did that."
Very cool.
No, I like that. So there we go. So there's my suggestion for potential hardware. Sega have done it back in the late 80s, early 90s. So it's a possibility. It is a possibility. Excellent. Okie dokie. So last topic that I think is probably